Welcome to the Retrospection section, where we review terrible writing we were once proud of. I'm Max.
I'm Rava.
And we love to make fun of ourselves. In today's episode, we will continue the incredible journey that is The Plan, Book 4 of the Generation series, in which Kiera and her friends Kyron, Ryder, Campbell, Becca, the unbearable Corinne, and a new pal named Wyatt prepare to throw down against the evil President of the United States. Sit back, relax, and make America literary again with us. Chapter 14. I'll start.
Okay.
That night, they headed off again, with Kyron in a horrible mood thanks to another sarcastic superhuman in their midst. Same Kyron! Corinne kept wondering why they hadn't seen Jacqueline Cardinal at the carnival. Then suddenly, there she was, appearing out from behind a building at the edge of town. "Hi," she sang. Everyone in the group started. "Shh!" They all hissed at once. "What did I do?" Jacqueline said. "Don't make too much noise," Kiera said. "Christoph Merck might have spies here." "Oh, sorry," Jacqueline said. "Can I come?" Corinne nodded. "But beware," she said in a spooky voice. "We've got some nasty characters in our midst. Yeah, including you."
I love that every time they talk about the president, they say Christoph Merck. It's like if every time I want to talk about Taft, I said William Howard Taft. Like every single time for the rest of my life.
It's just one of those, like, it's Christoph Merck. It's like, you know, like movie stars. You never just say their first names.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's a weird comparison, because movie stars, we do say their whole name, but politicians, we're just kind of expected to know, like, if I say Clinton, okay, that's a bad example, but if I say Obama, most people are going to assume I mean Barack. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's, like, a sign of respect, or just, like, denotation, like, it denotes that somebody is, like, higher ranking in society than you?
Maybe. That'd be weird, though, because a lot of people have disdain for politicians in this day and age.
That's true.
So you'd think, unless it carried over traditionally, like just out of habit, you would think that No, because back in the day, people would say President so-and-so. They didn't really use their last names, only. Because it was a sign of respect to say President first. I think. That's what I've been told. I obviously wasn't alive.
That sounds like something an immortal would say, Rava.
I feel personally attacked.
"But beware," she said in a spooky voice. "We've got some nasty characters in our midst." Jacqueline laughed. It wasn't until Corinne and the others didn't laugh that she realized Corinne was totally serious. Scene break. I tagged this one with oddly self-aware. Kiera and Corinne could be heard whispering to each other animatedly in the silence. "I wonder what they're whispering about," Jacqueline whispered to Ryder. "I don't know," Ryder said, "but we'll probably find out soon." "What do you mean?" "Well," Ryder explained. "Corinne will get mad at something Kiera says, and then they'll get into an argument. Then either Kyron or me will have to ask what's going on, and then we'll all get into a bigger argument, and it will end with Corinne in some kind of funk." Jacqueline smiled. Weird what you can find out about a person just from watching them fight. Ryder nodded, and as he had predicted, Corinne pulled away from her creative discussion with Kiera looking like she was either about to puke or she was about to maim Kiera. "What?" she said in an outraged voice. "You think I'm what?" "I said the best thing to do is forget about it," Kiera said defensively. "What makes you think I haven't already?" Corinne asked. "I do," Kiera said, "but I mean, you loved him, didn't you?" "Writers don't love." "But in the future you two grow old together and everything," Kiera blurted. "That wasn't me," Corinne said. "Oh?" Kiera said. "Then who was it?" "It was that prissy, proper, well-mannered other me," Corinne said with distaste. "That other you went blind doing your job trying to defeat the environs, and instead of helping them, you had to make yourself a potion and time travel here," Kiera shouted, really getting going. "What made you think we needed your help anyway? Without me, you would have been sleeping on the ground again instead of the hotel, and you'll probably need an adult to speak to Christoph Merck," Corinne said.
What? Isn't she like 19, this version of her or something?
She's 20.
20, yeah. That legally is an adult, I guess. But as I'm sure we've discussed before, you really don't feel like an adult at that age. And if you do, You're fooling yourself.
"Well, you weren't acting like an adult right now," Kyron broke in. "You're acting like a whiny little human. Thanks for admitting you're whiny," Corinne taunted. "Don't get off subject," Kiera ordered. "I can get off subject when I want," Corinne countered. "Oh, and Kyron?" "What?" Kyron spat. "Don't ever call a writer human," Corinne said. "It's the worst possible insult you can give a writer, and they'll probably kill you. You're lucky you're useful." "Well, you're acting like a human," Kyron retorted. "I could tear you limb from limb if I wanted to," Corinne threatened. It would be easy, like breaking a toothpick."
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
"It'd be easy, like snapping a pencil in half. Too bad you're not a writer, or else it'll be much harder." "Don't ever say that again, or you'll be sorry," Kyron shouted. "Oh, don't ever say that again, or you'll be sorry," Kyron shouted. "At least I don't wallow in self-pity about everything." "Ouch," Kiera said, wincing. "I do not," Corinne said. "Do too," Kyron yelled at her. "That's it," Corinne shouted. Hashtag convenient. "I never murdered your parents and you don't hate me anymore," she said, talking and changing him so fast that it sounded like one word.
What? Wait! Why haven't they been doing that this whole time? Why don't they just go change Christoph Merck?
There'd be no conflict if they did that.
There is no conflict because they can change everything.
Okay, wait, no, it literally gets worse later when they actually like face off with him in this like later in this book.
Oh my god, don't tell me that.
You'll be so mad.
I'm already so mad.
Chiron blinked. Do I know you? He asked. I'm Corinne. I'm helping you guys to get the planet back to normal, Corinne said. Nice to meet you, Chiron said. All right, Kira said, still mad at Corinne. Corinne, I hate you now, but we're going to stop and sleep for the night. Good idea, Corinne spat.
Now I'm gonna change you so you don't hate me anymore.
Hate this.
My good golly gosh.
It is your turn.
Okay.
Oh, you get to read the Swiper conversation. Yes.
Chapter 15. In the middle of the night, there was a crunch on some leaves. Somebody crept past Corinne's sleeping bag. She pretended to still be asleep. As the mystery person retraced their steps back past her sleeping bag, Corinne's hand shot out and grabbed the robber by their neck. How long is her arm? Aha! She said in a whisper. I have 3 words for you, my friend. Swiper, no swiping. Oh.
Yes. I told you they made that reference.
How old is that by now? Let me see.
How old is Dora the Explorer?
Yeah, because that came out when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
3.9 of 10 on IMDb. Why the hatred? Ran from 2000 to 2015.
Well, whatever it was, they still know about it in 2567 or whatever year this.
Wyatt cringed. How did you know it was me? Good God, how did you know I wasn't sleeping? Corinne asked. Because you grabbed him by the neck. And what were you trying to steal from me, may I ask? Wyatt had been holding his hands behind his back while trying to loosen Corinne's death grip. How? He held up a little round container. Corinne's face darkened. She snatched the container from Wyatt. I guess that's why they call you swipers. Corinne let go of him. What is it? Wyatt said. It's called a ripper, Corinne answered. Do you want to know what it does? Wyatt nodded. I stole it from the carnival, Corinne said. It's really dangerous when it works. I don't know if this one works, but when you press this button here, she pointed to a little black button, and you point it at a person, it's supposed to rip the life out of them.
Whoa.
Why did the carnival have these?
I don't know, and it's never mentioned again either. Like, this is not a Chekhov's gun. It's literally just a thing that happens.
I don't know if there are any Chekhov's gun in this entire series.
There's not, but I'm really mad that this wasn't one, because that actually would be pertinent.
It would, actually.
Like, that would be a good Chekhov's gun. But it's not. It just exists.
You were like, man, I have another cool idea for the weapons. It's even cooler than the Neonet.
Oh my god.
That's coming back at every opportunity.
Oh no.
I like genuinely love that.
Me too.
Like, it's so bad now, but I also would have thought that was a cool weapon name when I was like 10 or 12. Like,
it's like a bayonet, but new. And the Latin word for new.
I'm not even mad. I unironically love it.
Thank you.
Anyway.
At least someone does.
That's violent, Wyatt remarked. That's right, I'm a violent person, Corinne said. Wait a minute. What? Wyatt said. You look like you have a dirty little secret, Corinne said. Spit it out. Wyatt shook his head. I won't stop asking you till you tell me, Corinne told him. Wyatt shook his head again. I'm willing to go to extreme measures, Corinne said. Like what? Wyatt said. Like using the Ripper, Corinne said. Oh, but then you'd be dead, wouldn't you? So that's no longer an option. I seriously would, though. Wyatt looked terrified. Are you going to tell me or just stand there? Corinne asked him impatiently. I'll tell you, Wyatt said reluctantly. All right, Corinne said. Wyatt cringed, then opened his mouth to speak. But Corinne cut him off. Wait, I want to guess. You were planning on using the Ripper to kill me? Wyatt shook his head. You were going to use it to kill somebody else? He didn't even know what it was. Nope. You're somebody I know in disguise? Corinne asked him.
Why is that the logic jump she makes? I don't understand.
Has she ever seen him wash his hair? She doesn't know there's not gel in it.
It's probably Cal.
You're getting warmer, Wyatt said with a grimace. You're Jeffy? No, Wyatt said. How do you know Jeffy? I don't know, I just heard about him. Yeah, sure, Corinne said with a sly face. You're a guy, right? Do I look like a girl? Wyatt said. That sounded corny. Now I definitely know who you are, Corinne said. All right, who? Wyatt asked. I love how it says Corinne and Wyatt on every single line. Like we're going to forget who's in this conversation.
I know. It's so terrible.
All right, who? Wyatt asked. Well, you're younger than me, so you're Otto, Corinne said. Nope, Wyatt said. Well then, who? Corinne demanded. Want a hint? Wyatt asked. No, I want you to tell me, Corinne said. Well, I'm not just going to tell you, Wyatt said. Okay, see if you can figure this out like I changed you to. Remember the day when you were in that forest with that boy called Evan, and you fell off the cliff, and you kissed him? How do you know all this? Corinne asked. What happened, Corinne asked Wyatt. I thought you died. Twice. Corinne seemed to realize something and her eyes widened. Good thing there was another me, huh? They embraced. What? Stop. I need you to explain this to me. I'm really confused again.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna need a diagram. Alright. Okay, so, book 1. Corinne and Evan fall down the cliff. They are going to break into the writer headquarters, and Corinne asks Evan to change her into a different writer so that the reader thing will not, read her ID number when she walks through the door. So he does that, and he also adds in a little thing that's like, I'm changing you so that you have master deductive capabilities and can figure out any problem. So that's where that came from, where he's like, let me see if you can figure this out like I changed you to. Fast forward to book 3. Starts out with old lady Corinne time traveling back to meet her younger self. The younger self, quote unquote, dies, and we don't see her again for the rest of the book. Okay. The old lady time traveling Corinne saves the world, goes back to her regular time period, which is this time period in this book, and the book ends. Fast forward to this book, The Plan. Old lady time traveling Corinne dies of old age. Corinne from the regular timeline, who we thought died, this is her.
Okay.
And this guy, Wyatt, who's actually Evan, time traveled to find her.
You're never allowed to write time travel again.
Okay.
I'm vaguely less confused.
Okay.
It
makes sense to me, surprisingly.
You're the one who wrote it! Of course it makes sense to you!
No, I know, but after all these years, I thought it wouldn't make sense anymore. I thought it was just young me trying to rationalize things, but no, it still puzzles out. I'll make you a diagram.
This is General Hospital levels of convoluted character relationships. And I say that as someone who started watching General Hospital. Just because Colonel Sanders was on it, and I really want to know if he's going to make a comeback.
I'm going to have Corinne jump down out of a tree and be like, it's finger licking good.
Oh my god.
It's finger licking good!
Okay.
Please continue.
They embraced. How did you do it? Corinne asked. What was she to call him now? He looked totally different. Evan? Wyatt? I had potions in the garage. Once I got here, I found a swiper and had him change me into one so I could join you guys without anyone getting suspicious, answered. Corinne had decided to call him Evan. Evan.
Whoa, that sentence.
So you heard the argument that Kiara and I had about you? Corinne asked in a squeaky voice. Please say no. Yeah, Evan answered. I did. Wait a second, you hear that? I don't hear anything. I guess swipers have better hearing than writers, Corinne started, but was abruptly hushed by Evan's hand, which covered her mouth. Corinne squinted through the trees, trying to pinpoint the exact location of the tiny rustle that Evan had heard. She saw a flash of white, the color of Kira's tunic. Yeah, Wyatt, Corinne said a little too loudly so Kira could hear. I was wondering what you were doing with that thing in my backpack. I'm sorry, Evan exclaimed. You know, swipers like to swipe.
This is the personification of the act natural, trope.
It really is. God, I love that. Okay, no, I don't. I love that trope when it's done well.
Like in Avatar.
Fire Nation, act natural!
Exactly, that stupid thing in Avatar. The lemur's earthbending! If that ain't the epitome of that trope being done well, I don't know what is.
So good.
All right, you sneaky little jerk, Corinne said, pretending to take Evan by the ear and drag him away. Back to bed!
I love it.
After Evan was back in bed, Corinne returned to her sleeping bag, where Kira was still hiding. I know you're there, Kira, Corinne said calmly. Kira came out from behind the tree like a little kid who had just been caught feeding her green beans to the dog. Did you do that?
No.
Why that example? That's so specific.
I don't know, because we never had a dog when I was growing up. We only got a dog when I was in 9th grade.
But why green beans?
Maybe that's what I thought kids fed to their dog because they didn't want to eat the green beans?
I guess. I'm pretty sure that would just give them, wild farts. I don't think green beans are bad for them, but,
Wild farts.
On that cheerful note... Yeah, I thought it was you, Corinne said. Don't pull anything like that again. But I heard voices. You would have done the same thing. I know you would, Kira said. No excuses. Now, get down. Corinne pushed Kira to the ground as a little dart zoomed over their heads. What the heck? Kira exclaimed. It was some kind of tranquilizer dart thingy, Corinne said. I'll bet Christoph Merck's spies found us. And sure enough, within the next 6 seconds, 10 men in black suits that looked all the same surrounded Kiera and Corinne. Oh, here it is again. Kiera, run, Corinne said, and without a second thought, Kiera fled. She stopped about 10 feet away when she realized what Corinne was planning. They're going to kill you, she screamed over the snow.
Oh my god, take a shot.
Better yet, Corinne shouted back. They're going to take me to their leader.
I fucking hate this
I think
book.
I just heard my sister laugh in the other room, and I hope it's laughing at this. Chapter 15?
15.
I just read chapter 15.
Well, here it is again. 15
Chapter
section.
15X.
And being... Okay, this sentence makes zero sense. And being her usual insincerity in being tough as nails, Corinne squirmed and struggled against the men's grips. She was a writer for Pete's sake. Why couldn't she just... She reached for her belt. Where was the gun? But she kept that to herself. Instead, she asked how far till the White House. 10 miles, answered one of the identically dressed men. I have a way we could get there faster, Corinne told the men. How's that? Asked one that was slimmer and younger than the rest. Be quiet, said another. It was hard to tell which one was talking because it was dark, snowing, and the men were all wearing black suits. Everyone snapped their fingers, she told them. They seemed strangely drawn to obey her.
Everybody clap your hands! I don't know why that made me think of that, but it totally did. We cha-cha slide our way through the plan.
Scene break. Corinne's gone, Kiera cried. What? Chiron said, getting up. Who? Corinne's gone, Kiera cried again. Good riddance, Chiron said. But she changed you, Kiera told him as if he needed to know. You shouldn't remember anything. Huh, Chiron said, looking confused. Fancy that. That's never explained either. Wyatt got up groggily. Who's gone? Corinne, Kiera told him. He grimaced. What's wrong? Jacqueline asked him. Nothing, Wyatt answered and turned away. This kind of thing always happens to us, Ryder said. Yeah, I guess so, Campbell said. Whatever, Becca said. So they all milled about while Kiera figured out what to do. We should continue on to the White House and find Corinne, Kiera finally concluded. Scene break. Her wrist was tied to the youngest of the identically dressed men while they were flying on the boards side by side. Like she was going to zoom off if she wasn't tied up to somebody. She wanted to talk to Christoph Merck. What's your name? She asked the young man next to her. I'm not supposed to talk to you, miss, the young man said. Corinne laughed. I'm not supposed to talk to you either, but rules don't stop me. What the fuck kind of name is this?
Oh. Ooh.
I'm afraid to say it out loud. I think it might invoke some kind of fucking gross 12-year-old demon. I'm Prodigy Dove, said the young man. I'm 19. I'm Corinne, said Corinne. Man. I'm 21. Just about 2 seconds after she said that, the board stopped moving, and for a millisecond they continued flying through the air before crashing to the ground. Corinne got up. She was still tied to Prodigy, who wasn't moving. Hello, she asked. Are you alive? He moaned, thankfully. Yeah, I'm alive. What just happened? I don't know, Corinne said, observing the damage of the crashed boards. The men were slowly getting up and looking around. The boards shorted out. I don't think they're supposed to run in snow. It's just as well, Prodigy said. I can't take this name seriously. It's just as well, Prodigy said, then looked around nervously. I hate working for these guys. Will you help get me fired? He whispered. Corinne nodded. Yeah, she said, if you get me to Christoph Merck.
Chapter 16. It wasn't until the next day that they reached Seattle. They were all in a bad mood. They had had to walk the rest of the way on account of the fact that the boards had crashed. They reached the White House and headed inside, past various security systems. Apparently, quite a few people had tried to attack Christoph Merck for his little Limit Choices campaign. They'd had to amp the security. The Secret Service ushered Corinne into the Oval Office. In a way she felt honored. Hardly anyone was let in there. Well, it's not true these days.
Anybody's let in there now.
In another way, she felt anger. She was being trapped in an ellipse-shaped office with a desk and 2 couches. That's such a specific source of anger. Like,
I fucking hate ellipses.
Like, big mood, man. There was somebody sitting in a leather swivel chair. He swiveled around to face Corinne and the others. Ah, yes,
hello.
The villain.
I didn't see you there. Just like the stereotypical villain swivel.
Ah, didn't see you there. Me and my buddy here have been expecting you.
She looked him squarely in the eyes. Ah, yes, he said. I've heard about you. You've become quite famous for breaking the rules. Corinne didn't even blink, just kept on staring at him with her beautiful amber eyes.
I hate it.
It's just as well, however, Christoph Merck continued. We have caught you, if you should try to escape. But how could you? We have armed guards and Secret Service posted every 5 feet. That's like incredibly close.
Right?
How many people does he have hired for this? Quick, Listeners, someone do the math. Tell me how many Secret Service and armed guards you would need to have someone posted every 5 feet throughout the White House.
Yeah, someone who's good at math.
I don't want to fight, Corinne told him. I want to talk. Christoph Merck looked surprised. Like, why in the world wouldn't the world's most famous fighter turn down a good fight? That double negative just made it... Why in the world wouldn't the world's most famous fighter turn down a good fight?
That
should
should
double
be...
negative. I guess it's just a negative.
But it's a negative
it's
that's
wrong!
not supposed to be a negative. It's supposed to be
Also,
a not
why
negative.
Since when is she the world's most famous fighter?
I don't know.
All right, then, said Christoph Merck. Corinne noticed that he hardly moved his lips when he talked, and that bothered her to pieces.
Same.
She gazed coldly at his perfect white teeth, his wavy brown hair, his annoyingly indifferent expression. He was youngish for a president, maybe 39 or 40. Wow, you actually got that right.
Yeah.
The minimum age is 35, so that's like really young.
Nice.
That would be, I think, the youngest president. What bothered her most was that he wasn't supposed to not care that...
Oh!
Wait. What bothered her most was that he wasn't supposed to not care that her gaze was just dripping with content. Oh, I get it now.
He's supposed to care that her gaze was dripping.
He was supposed to look afraid and lose his cool. He was supposed to freak out. What really, really bothered her was that he didn't. He didn't freak out. Why the heck wasn't he freaking out? As much as she said she just wanted to talk, she really did want to fight. Christoph Merck told the Secret Service to go, and Corinne winked at Prodigy. When they were gone, Christoph Merck clasped his hands. I saw that. Saw what? Corinne asked innocently. That wink. I've seen it before. Are you, by any chance, related to a certain 18th called Otto? Christoph Merck asked. Oh my god, Otto.
He's back.
How do you know about Otto? Corinne asked. He's right here in this room, Christoph Merck said. Wow, Corinne said, keeping a cool expression on her face. I thought I'd seen it all, but this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Well, said Christoph Merck, you apparently haven't seen everything because you have made the assumption that I am your little brother, when in fact I am nowhere near related to you. Look around. Finally, someone doesn't secretly end up as Corinne's relative.
Right?
So Corinne looked around. As far as she could see, there was no Otto in this room. And how could there be? He was supposed to be dead anyway. She wasn't there when her double had found out that Otto was still alive.
Parentheses.
Thank you, parentheses! And then suddenly, a section of the wall retreated into the floor. And there was Otto, wearing the same bounty hunter's uniform that Chiron wore. Otto? Corinne asked in disbelief. Sup, he said. That's how I come back from the dead. Sup. But you're supposed to be dead, Corinne said.
He's supposed to be dead!
So are you, Otto said. Touché, Corinne said. Why are you here? I could ask you the same question, Otto said. Why are you here? Corinne asked again. I work here, Otto said. You're wearing the same uniform as somebody I know, Corinne said, pretending not to be horrified.
Okay, we're gonna just bleep out the word.
Yeah, my eyes just skipped down the page and I was like, wow.
Yeah, we're just gonna bleep that out.
It's a bounty hunter's uniform, Otto said. Everyone who works at the White House wears one. I'm going to kill Chiron, Corinne said, the redacted offensive word.
Yeah.
He was a spy. Who, Chiron? Christoph Merck asked. No, I fired him a long time ago. Corinne was silent. She glanced at Otto, and he winked the same wink as Corinne. She looked at him, knowing what it meant. Corinne felt a pang of guilt at turning in her own brother, but it passed quickly, and she knew that she had to. He's the spy, Corinne blurted. And Otto made a face that said both. I can't believe she knew this, and ugh, Corinne, now we're both going to die. Christoph Merck looked interested for a minute, but quickly covered it up with a smirk. How do you know this? He asked casually. Do you know what I am? Corinne asked him. Christoph Merck didn't answer. Otto was glaring at Corinne. Corinne was glaring at Christoph Merck. Christoph Merck was glaring at Otto, and there was a couple of seconds before anyone spoke. What are you going to do to us? Otto asked. Corinne smacked her forehead. Otto, when are you going to learn to stay cool? That's a thought, by the way. She doesn't say that. Well, Christoph Merck said, tapping his chin thoughtfully, I could give you capital punishment, but then you wouldn't be able to help me. Help you what? Corinne asked. Well, I admire a kid who isn't afraid to break the rules. And you two seem clever enough to break a law even Christoph Merck can't change, Christoph Merck said. Keep talking, Corinne told him. What?
Same.
You read.
I'm gonna.
I'm out
Chapter
of
17.
noises.
Oh, the nerve, Kira exclaimed. How long do you think she was planning this? Chiron asked. Prodigy shrugged. As soon as I heard it, I tracked you guys down. But what does it mean? Chiron asked. It means she was a traitor and a con artist, Kira said, still fuming. Wyatt yawned and got out of bed. It was the middle of the night. What are we talking about? Corinne betrayed us, Kyron said. What is with her? Ryder said. First she runs away and then she joins Christoph Merck. I can't believe you're related to her, Kira. What? Kira said. I would never do that. She could have had a reason, Wyatt suggested. What if she's going to help us get into the White House from the inside? That sounds like something Corinne might do. You know, from the couple of hours since I've known her. That seemed reasonable enough for everyone, so they all shrugged and got back in their sleeping bags. They would continue on tomorrow.
Oh boy.
The end of the chapter.
No, you read the next one too. I got 2 really long ones.
Yeah, you did. Chapter 18. Do we have an accord? Christoph Merck asked.
We have an accord.
Corinne looked at Otto. Sounds good to me, she said. Wait, Otto said. Let me get this straight. You'll make us members of your Secret Service if we help you betray Corinne's friends? That doesn't seem fair. That's just because you're younger and you don't see the potential, Corinne told him. Christoph Merck nodded. He handed each of them a key. Now go to your rooms. They headed down the hallway. Now we can help get everyone in from here. It'll be much easier if we don't sound off any alarms. We can pretend they're prisoners or something. Otto nodded as Corinne's reasoning dawned on him. Good idea. Scene break. Kira flew on her board far ahead of everyone, thinking, that boards aren't supposed to run in the snow, you goobs! We found that out when they exploded.
You'll never mention it again. It's okay.
No. Why had Corinne done this? Maybe Wyatt was right, but how had he known? He seemed so sure that Corinne was trying to help them. Maybe there was more to him than met the eye. He was a swiper after all. Scene break. Corinne waved over her shoulder. See you tomorrow, she said. Otto didn't say anything, just unlocked the door to his room and stepped inside. Corinne continued down the hallway to her door. She unlocked the door, walked inside. Corinne turned on the light and closed the door silently. She looked around. There was a bunk bed on one side of the room, a desk on the other. That was all. There wasn't even a bathroom or anything. Suddenly, while Corinne was examining some papers on the desk, there was a rustle from one of the beds. Darn it, said the voice on the bed. Turn off the darn light. Oh, sorry, Corinne apologized. She turned off the light again and was plunged back into darkness. Corinne felt her way back out the door and locked it again. Back in the light of the hallway, Corinne decided to have a look around. Okay, this is a weird scene that also has no pertinence to the actual plot.
Surprise.
She continued down the hallway until the end, opened a door, and there was another hallway. She headed down that corridor. At the very end, she opened a door that had a number on it. It said 135. What a coincidence, Corinne said aloud, my old writer number. She stepped over the threshold into the pitch-black dark room and was greeted by a pair of glowing green eyes. She drew back. What the heck? But the owner of the glowing eyes was equally frightened. Who are you? They asked, frightened. No shit! Corinne, said Corinne. Who are you? I don't know, said the other person. It was hard to tell whatter, spelling error. It was a boy or girl, writer or human, child or adult. Are you a boy or a girl? Corinne asked. Gender's fake. How old are you? I'm not sure, they replied. My first non-binary character. Why are you here? Corinne asked. I don't know, the mystery person said again. This was frustrating. Is there a light in here? Corinne asked. No, said the person. Corinne pulled a tiny flashlight out of her pocket and turned it on. Deus Ex flashlight. The person turned away from the light. No, they shrieked. Whatever that is, turn it off. No way, Corinne said. I want to see what you are. The person shrank back. It was a girl, probably 14, but incredibly short for her age, dressed in rages, with very short white hair and green eyes. She was very pale.
I am also dressed in rages.
Same. The girl's eyes adjusted to the light, and she squinted at Corinne as if she'd never seen another person in her life. Maybe she hadn't. Corinne spoke very slowly and clearly, as if to a particularly dim child.
Rude.
I need a moment. Think hard, she told the girl. Can you tell me why you're here? I don't remember, the girl said, looking confused. Do you know? Of course I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, Corinne shouted at the girl, then realized when the girl shrank back into a corner of the room that she had been too harsh.
Corinne, you're such a jerk.
I know. Look, if you want me to help you, then you need to try and remember why you are here in this dark room by yourself. I really can't remember. The girl looked as if she was racking her brains. All right, Corinne said. Now close your eyes. Okay, the girl said. You can remember who you are and why you are here. Corinne changed her. I'm Jess, said the girl.
I hate it.
I was taken here from my house in Oregon 9 years ago. I'm 14 and a half. I was taken here because We have a break-in, someone announced over the loudspeaker. All Secret Service report to your stations. Corinne looked around frantically. Come on, she told Jess and grabbed her wrist. The two of them retraced Corinne's steps to the entrance. Go, get out of here for whatever reason you were here. Jess nodded her thanks and fled. Then she noticed some commotions in the lobby. Guys, Corinne exclaimed. Sup, Evan/Wyatt said casually while he was holding a deadly-looking rifle-type thing. Yeah, hi, Kira said and paused to whirl around and shoot at something.
It's a neonet.
What are you guys doing here? Corinne asked them. What do you think? Kira said. We just knew you were going to end up in some kind of trouble. But I didn't, Corinne told them. Did I? You're about to be in trouble, Evan said, tossing her a gun. She caught it perfectly. Let's get out of here. Wait, Corinne said. I can't leave. There's something fishy wow, my voice. There's something fishy going on here. I found a girl in a dark room, and she couldn't remember anything. If I know anything, I'd say they were prisoners here for some reason. Besides, Otto time traveled here to find me, and I can't just leave him here. All right, well, go get him, and free those kids, and get out, Kira told Corinne. Wait, Corinne said. I thought we needed to talk to Christoph Merck. Don't you want to get in a good fight before the day is done? Kira glanced at everyone, and they all smiled in an evil manner and nodded. Corinne set off to go get Otto and free those kids. She quickly opened the doors and let all the kids out. Altogether, there was about 20 kids. Corinne led them to the entrance, and they all ran away. She got Otto out of his room and made him leave. There was going to be a big fight here soon, and if anyone was going to die, it was not going to be him, she said, ushering him out the door.
Wait a second. What is it with all of your books and rescuing gangs of kids?
I don't know.
Like in the Sword Division and one of the earlier writers, I think.
And in the carnival.
Yeah, oh yeah. What is it?
I don't know, dude.
They always end up finding like a warehouse full of children in need of rescue.
Yep.
Is that like your version of Binders of Women? Just warehouses of children?
Binders of Women. Yes. I've got warehouses full of children.
I really hope someone tries to use that against you out of context someday.
Same. And then I could be like, no, it's just from a podcast.
And then they hear the context, and they're like, I don't know if this is better.
Oh, man. I think I stole it from Maximum Ride, honestly. So much of my shit I stole from Maximum Ride.
You know, your name.
My name I stole from Maximum Ride. But to be fair, I didn't steal it because I wanted to be Max. I stole it because Max is a gender-neutral name, and, like, it has the same, initials as my birth name, and,
It is a cool name, though.
It is cool. But, I was like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm gonna steal it. Okay, no, I have to spoil another thing for you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Later on in the series, there is a winged character named Max, but it is spelled M-A-C-K-S. And it's a dude.
Almost hate that more.
Me too.
Like, look, it's not Maximum Ride.
Yeah, and he has bat wings, so it's
Oof.
I tried to make it different enough and failed. Anyway, continuing. She met up with the others who were inevitably fighting some Secret Service dudes.
Some Secret Service dudes.
Corinne joined them. You think I should go talk to Christoph Merck? She asked while she knocked a guy out with the butt of her gun as she swung around to face Kira. Oops. Yeah, you do that, Kira said, copying Corinne's accidental technique. Huh, that works pretty well. So Corinne snuck around the fight in the hallway. She ran down back to the Oval Office. Christoph Merck wasn't there, but a TV was, and it had Christoph Merck's face on it.
That always makes me think of Spy Kids.
I know! He's got, the little black thing across his eyes that he just, removes.
And he just takes it off.
Hello again, said Christoph Merck's face from the TV. I must admit, you're quite clever. I'd like you to meet me in my special office. To your right, wrong form of your, you'll see a door. Open it. So Corinne walked over and opened the door. A blinding light emitted from the room, and Corinne stepped through the door and into a blindingly white room. Christoph Merck was sitting in a black chair that made the room look even whiter. You have a terrible decorating sense, Corinne commented. Christoph Merck said nothing. Are you going to talk, or are you just going to sit there? Corinne asked him. All right, what would you like me to say? Christoph Merck asked. Oh, wait, let me guess. Why did you do this? Corinne interrupted. Christoph Merck's fingers tapped on the armrest of the leather chair, which Corinne found incredibly annoying. I wanted to limit choices, said Christoph Merck.
We knew that. That's literally your mission statement. That's not a reason.
Delusional much? Corinne asked. Christoph Merck laughed softly. Clever, he said. No, I wanted everyone to be the same. If everyone is the same, then nobody is liable to be made fun of or harassed.
This is literally The Incredibles. This is literally Syndrome.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
It's our differences which make us who we are, Corinne said. I should know. Yes, you should, Christoph Merck said with a squinty but sly look on his face. You are quite different from everyone else, aren't you? You are so very different. Oh, I'm flattered, Corinne said so sarcastically. So get to your point already. Do you know what I've learned about writers since I've been president? Asked Christoph Merck. Okay, get ready for complete bullshit that, doesn't make sense. What? Corinne asked. They can only change things within 5 minutes of the occurring event, which is false, as we've seen by every instance.
I was going to say, I'm just going to sit for a second and think of every event that contradicts. Literally the entire books.
Yeah.
Everything that's happened so far writer-related is now contradicted.
I had to make it that... I had to do this because I had to make what's about to happen.
Did you, though?
Yes. I don't know why I did this, but I did it because...
It didn't have to be like this.
Ergo, if I press this button here, he pressed a button on the armrest of the chair, a television will appear on the wall. And so it did. Where are you going with this? Corinne asked him. Patience is a virtue. As I was saying, Christoph Merck went on as he pressed another button and the camera zoomed in. Above your love, Evan, is it? There's a person with a sword waiting to be signaled to pounce upon Evan and kill him. Corinne looked at Christoph Merck with a mixture of distaste and horror. With shaking hands, she reached for her gun. Okay, wait, this line is from Tombstone and I'm crying about it. Go ahead, Christoph Merck said, smiling a tight little smile. Go ahead, jerk that pistol and see what happens.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
At least you had the sense to, like, take it from good things?
True. Go ahead, jerk that pistol and see what happens. So she did, and it didn't work. Christoph Merck chuckled pleasantly. This room is designed to neutralize all weapons. What about swords? Corinne asked. Do you have a sword? Christoph Merck asked. No, just asking, Corinne said, fingering the hilt of her knife she had in her belt. Christoph Merck smiled again. He pressed a button and the TV on the wall zoomed in on Evan. 2 seconds later, the horrible scene unfolded. A person dressed all in black dangled from a cable on the ceiling. He dropped down beside Evan. It wasn't until too late that Evan whirled around, only to be run through.
I'm all about this Mission Impossible sword assassin.
Me too. It's so wonderful. Your turn.
Chapter 19. The little white room was silent as Corinne stared at the screen, which was focused on the person in black standing beside Evan, who was on the ground, and the rest of the group staring in horror. That is some nested prepositions there.
Yeah, that's almost as bad. Well, it's not quite as bad, but it's getting there too. The one in the environs where it's like, I said as I took out a sword that I'd stolen from the Byron that I'd killed and turned around and stabbed him in the neck. Like,
that's
like
honestly one of my favorite sentences. I don't know. Is that in my Why Does This Sentence Exist document?
Yes, I remember you put it in there.
Okay, good. 4 minutes later, 4 minutes of staring at the screen. It was too much. Are you going to let me out? Corinne said, her voice breaking. No, said Christoph Merck. Why did I know you were going to say that? Corinne asked him. Then Christoph Merck seemed to think better of his previous answer and said, You have 40 seconds. And the door opened. Corinne rushed out. She tore down the hallway to where the group was still standing, dumbstruck. She knelt by Evan, hoping she wasn't too late. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, focusing all her thoughts on the situation at hand. You aren't going to die, Evan, she said. Evan? That's Evan? The whole group cried at once. Oh yeah, they don't know. Corinne didn't answer. Evan, she asked again, this time more urgently. Corinne, Evan said weakly. I'm here, Corinne told him. Am I too late? I don't know, are you? Evan asked. Corinne smiled. Yes. What? That's not reassuring. I'm going to die, aren't I? Evan asked. This was unexpected. Corinne didn't know how to respond. Well, that's okay, Evan said. I love you. Corinne flinched. Kiara gasped. Kyron said, oh my, but never got to finish his sentence. Evan's last words echoed through the room, and all was silent.
I hate this.
Why did it echo? Did he just scream?
I love you!
Corinne got up, surprisingly not crying, and faced Kiara and the group. You guys stay here, she said. It's not finished. Halfway back to the Oval Office, Corinne stopped, and realized what she could probably do if she thought hard enough about it. She couldn't fathom why she had never thought of this before. Oh my god. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's killing me already.
Actually, no, I do. I just remembered.
She closed her eyes and placed her hand on the wall beside her. I'm in Christoph Merck's secret office, she said, and she figured that she wasn't changing herself. Since that wasn't possible, she was changing her whereabouts. Oh my god, kill me.
I hate this so much.
2 seconds later, she really was in Christoph Merck's secret office. Wait a second, she can teleport! She just confirmed she can just teleport herself to a place by changing her whereabouts. Are you telling me no writer has ever thought of this in the history of, like, ever?
No, because Corinne's special.
The resident looked extremely amazed to see Corinne just appear there. Surprised, Corinne said. Well, so am I. How did you do that? Christoph Merck said, looking flabbergasted. Corinne didn't answer his question. Instead, she asked a question of her own. Who's next? Corinne asked. Kiara? I was actually thinking you, Christoph Merck said. But that's a good suggestion. And he pressed a button on the remote. Corinne could hardly control her anger. She could feel her eyes beginning to flicker red.
Yep, that's a thing.
He just has a make people angry remote?
No. Oh, no. What the fuck? This is significant later. This actually, like, becomes important later. But it happens in the first book as well.
That's it. That was so long ago. I don't remember.
I know.
You have to tell me.
I know. And I barely remember when it happens either, but it's when they're facing off with the Master Writer. And she, like, gets so mad and the Master Writer's like, your eyes, they're ... red. And then everybody's like, what does that mean? Like, that's not supposed to happen. And then it's never mentioned again. But later in this series, until now, then you find out kind of why later in this series.
I don't even want to know why at this point. Like, let's just wait till we get to it. So I can
it's literally the worst plot twist
so I can be righteously upset.
Oh yeah, you will be.
Why are you doing this? She asked through clenched teeth. Because you're guilty for about 1 billion crimes against me, and because I hate you, Christoph Merck said bluntly. You really did predict the Marne presidency. Corinne quickly pulled a knife from her belt and flung it at Christoph Merck. It hit him squarely in the chest. No, I'm guilty of assassination of Christoph Merck, too, Corinne said. Why are you doing this? Christoph Merck asked through clenched teeth. Oh my god, they're gonna need a dentist after this. Because I hate you too, Corinne said, pressing her hand against the wall. Hallway, she said, and disappeared. Oh, end of chapter. Whew, that was a ride.
I hate this so much. Like, it only gets worse from here.
Oh.
Chapter 20. I don't want to do this anymore. It's so painful.
The sound of defeat.
This book has defeated my soul. Okay, God, I just want to put this ending off so bad. Chapter 20. Corinne got there just as the assassin or whatever that thing had killed... Well, hold on a sec. Corinne got there just as the assassin or whatever that thing that had killed Evan was about to slash at Kiera from behind.
Yeah, you needed a second was there.
Yeah, I did.
But honestly, you just needed to not write that sentence.
Yeah, that was... Those words all had dashes in between them.
I'm taking that sentence.
Please. Take it. Put it in the dock. Corinne punched him in the nose, and Kiera spun around. Nosebleeds are always bad, Corinne told the assassin. Better go clean that up before you bleed all over the president's nice clean floor. The guy left. Whew, she said. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Whatever. Kiera, we need to go finish out the president. Come with me or just follow the signs. Kiera followed Corinne the first 10 feet, but after that Corinne stopped and put her hand on the wall and said office and disappeared. Whoa, Kiera said. That was awesome. But she had to keep going. Following the signs to the Oval Office, Kiera got there only to find that Corinne was already there, staring at the president's empty leather chair. He's gone, Kiera said. You think? Corinne said, whirling. I thought this was the end. I know, Kiera said. It's hard for all of us. You just need to... Yeah, I know, Corinne said bitterly. Toughen up, Corinne.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Why would he be in his office if he was in his secret room and she killed him?
The secret office is, like, through the Oval Office. What? Remember the secret door that slid down? And
yeah!
Yeah, so she stabbed him in the chest, but he didn't actually die. That's why the chair is empty, because he ran away.
I guess I didn't realize that was in the Oval Office still.
I didn't mean, Kiera started. Well, I've had enough of being tough, Corinne said. I've had to be tough my whole life, and where has it gotten me? Evan's dead, Christoph Merck's gone, and the world's fate is in the hand of a bunch of little kids. Now listen here, Kiera started again. No, Corinne said. You listen. But Kiera tried again. Out of the two me's, including the one that died last week, your grandmother, I'm the only one who's never time traveled before this. I mean, sure, you guys get into trouble, but even your lost isn't as bad as my lost, you know? That's line from Maximum Ride, I'm like 90% sure.
What isn't?
Honestly. Oh, Kiera said, still processing the fact that a writer was confessing all this stuff. Yeah, Corinne said, and if you think I'm just gonna sit around and wait for Christoph Merck to really go insane, then you've got another thing coming. I'm not going to sit around and wait for Christoph Merck, the President of the United States of America, to really, really lose his temper because Evan is dead, and even the world's best writer wasn't able to save him, and that's saying a lot.
Chapter 21. Kiera was absolutely, positively, angrily sorry for Corinne, if that was even possible.
It's not. You just keep taking sentences.
Yeah, that's why I paused. You can tell. You could tell, couldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
She was about to say something really Hallmark commercially, but Corinne just waved it away. Oh god, I'm depressing you, Corinne said. I'll just get out of here. No, don't, Kiera exclaimed. Too late. Corinne put her hand on the wall. Outside. Scene break. Horses, Corinne said aloud, observing the corral full of primitive transportation. She only heard about them from the writer headquarters on class days when they'd learn about the humans' puny civilization. She only knew what they looked like and how to ride them. It could work.
What else do you need to know?
I mean, how to take care of them, I guess. But, like, how to ride them is a pretty big step there.
Only.
Scene break. Corinne, Kiera yelled after her, running out the door. Get back here! But Corinne was already riding away. Scene break. Corinne glanced back over her shoulder through the snow.
Oh my god.
Drink. Wondering if she actually would come back. Probably not, she thought. Most definitely not. Suddenly, something hot stung Corinne's eyes. Was she crying? Writers never cried, but the tears had finally come. Scene break!
Scene break.
This entire chapter is scene breaks. Corinne's gone, Kira cried, running back to the others. Who did what now? Ryder asked. Never mind. But what now? I don't know, Kira said sadly. We go after Christoph Merck, I guess. They just killed him!
No, he's alive.
She stabbed him in the chest and said she assassinated him. I assumed that meant he was dead.
Well, she was wrong. If he was dead, there would be no more series.
Are you sure? Are you
No.
sure you wouldn't have come up with something?
There's always more of this horrible series.
Kira examined her group and pasted a fake smile on her face. She had to at least look like she was as tough as they thought she was. Come on, you guys, don't look so despondent. It'll be okay. Corinne will come back. We'll be okay. We'll find the president. We'll be okay.
Epilogue.
Oof.
Oof. You mental, redacted offensive word here, shouted Ryder. Get back here. The horse whinnied. Cussing at the horse won't make it like you more, I pointed out. Chiron laughed from atop his black horse. Of course it was black. That's the only color that Chiron wore.
Wait, why is it first person now?
I don't know. Because the next two books in this trilogy are in first person, so maybe I was like setting it up in the epilogue.
Oof.
Anyway, I was riding a pale yellow horse with strawberry red hair. Campbell was picking hers out, as was Becca and Jacqueline. When everyone was done picking out their horse, I looked up at the sky, squinting in the snow, and clicked to my horse. Christoph Merck, evil president, if you're reading this, you're going down! Triple exclamation mark. The end!
Oh. Okay, but I love that even the epilogue got a squinting in the snow in there.
Oh my
Good
God.
job, epilogue.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Retrospection section. Join us next time when Kira, Corinne, Chiron, and 15 other people we don't care about face off against the evil president once again. don't really remember if anything important happens in the second book in this trilogy. Probably nothing does. We'll find out next time. Thank you for joining us on the Retrospection section.
Oof.